Hello and welcome to another Writerly Witterings with me, Michael Jex, the tea-loving author. Sad fact still. Today, something different. Talking about an old pen. Woohoo! So, what have we got here? This is a very delightful Sheaffer Snorkel. Not only did Mitchell Farley, a very delightful fellow, send me this, he even sent me the instructions, a copy of the original instructions on how to use your snorkel. So, first of all, why this pen? Well, when I was a kid, going back many, many years ago, my father used to have one of these. It was an absolutely delightful pen, and it's partly because of him having one of these that when I went to school, I bought myself one of these, which is a standard Sheaffer with a nice straightforward cartridge converter to fill it, and this was a pen that I used an awful lot in my school days, and it's still working perfectly well now without even having to replace the rubber sack inside it. It's incredible that such a pen that really was very, very reasonably priced, by which I mean cheap, is still working today. Unfortunately, my father let my brother use his Snorkel Sheaffer, and my brother, being my brother, lost the damn thing. So, about 40 years ago was the last time I handled a Sheaffer Snorkel. This is the first time I've had a chance of playing with one. And it's lovely. It's not too heavy. Its actual weight is about 19 grams. The barrel is about 12 grams, so you can work out the weight of the cap. It is, just trying to look for, this is all inches. Let's get that over the other way, where we've got centimetres. It is, in total, how long is that? That is 14.1, I've actually measured it separately, it's 14.1 centimetres long. Uncapped, it is 12.5. Posted, it's about 16.1. So it's got some reasonable dimensions. In terms of thickness, it is quite slim. I'm afraid my measuring device for diameters is without a battery right now, so I can't tell you exactly what the dimensions are, but it's less than a centimetre, I think. I think it's probably 0.8 or 0.9 centimetres. So what has it got? Black plastic at the back. There is a cap section here, a little cap, which I will come to when I show you how to fill it. This version has got nice chrome steel with golden highlights. It has the white Sheaffer dot, but the Sheaffer dot is actually not on the clip. Now, with my cheap and cheerful school version, the Sheaffer dot was actually on the clip, and the clip is separately sprung. With this, there is no spring. It is an incredibly stiff little thing, and it will not come off. I've been carrying this in my shirt pocket for the last 2 weeks. There is no hint of it trying to escape. What else is there? On the cap itself, I don't know how easy it is to see this because of the glare from my light, but you may just be able to see that there are lines going all the way up. The first line is, actually I'm just looking at it, it's a quartet of little lines. So there's one line that goes up and stops here, a second line goes up and stops here, a third line stops here, and a fourth line goes right to the top, and then that pattern repeats of short, longer, 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 very long, all the way up, which is quite neat. And you may be able to just see the writing. It's very fine, and it says W.A. Sheaffer Pen Company, Fort Madison, Iowa, USA, made in USA. Very fine writing, as is the Sheaffer made in USA around there. So if I check this later and see it's absolutely impossible to read, I will take a photo and put that up. Unscrews, but it's only a very short thread, so it's about a half turn and it fully unscrews. It will post. As you know, if you've watched my videos, I hate posting because it invariably scratches the acrylic at the back here, so I don't do that. What is a nice touch here is it's got a metal section here behind the section, so you've got metal threads on metal threads, which means that they're going to be a lot more resilient. It's a sort of cigar shape, grows, it's fairly parallel sided there and then sinks down. I find it enormously comfortable in the hand. The section here, as you might be able to see, has some rings around it etched in, which just gives a little bit of grip. Not a huge amount, but it's just enough. It feels really comfortable. The Sheaffer nibs are these rather strange, all the way round types, but I can vouch for this nib. It feels absolutely wonderful. It's a really, not terribly soft, it's quite a hard nib, but ever so smooth. Really, really good feel. Now, the obvious question to those who don't know these pens, sorry, quick slurp there, is why are they called a snorkel? Well, I can demonstrate why it's called a snorkel. There's this blind cap sort of arrangement at the back. If you unscrew it and look under here, you will see suddenly this wonderful snorkel thing sticks out. Up a little bit closer, see if we can focus there. So you see that underneath the nib, this little tube has now projected. Let's get some ink, shall we? Here's one of my favourites, and it is the ink that's currently in the pen, so I'm not going to damage anything by mixing things up. So, lid off. All you have to do to fill this pen, now that you've unscrewed the cap and got the snorkel out, you pull out the end like that, dunk that snorkely tube into some ink, not the whole nib, just the snorkel tube, and push that down. It creates, I think, a vacuum inside and sucks the ink up, and then all you do is screw the snorkel back in, and hey presto, you're ready to write. Those of you who have seen my videos of how to tip over ink bottles, I am very careful to put the lid back on an ink bottle now before I do anything else. It just saves me looking a complete twit on YouTube. Now, let's get down to the basics. Now the first thing is, I've got to just say, why have a snorkel tube? There are two reasons. First, you don't have to get the whole of the nib and the section into any ink, so you keep your fingers much cleaner. That is one big advantage. Second is, when you're getting really low on a bottle of ink, as I am with quite a few of mine right now, when you dunk let's say, a nib like this into your ink to be able to fill it up, you have to have it at least that deep. So not only does the ink make a bit of a mess of the nib, also when you've got less ink than that, you can't suck it up. But with this, you can get every last drop of ink without any problem. And again, without getting yourself completely covered in the stuff and making a mess everywhere. So these are just astonishingly practical little pens. Do they write? They are wonderful. They do, or this type of nib does not give line variation at all. There's no variation. But it is superb. I've not had a hard start. I've not had any sort of problem with it whatsoever. It is just a superb little pen for writing. Will I be using it? Yup. These two are now my standard daily carry in my pocket all day long pens. Conway Stewart Model 58, which is ideal because it's quick and easy to refill with the lever action. And now this, because it is also quick and easy to fill and will suck up an awful lot of ink even when your bottle is almost completely empty. But I have to say, I love my little Conway Stewart, but this gives a wonderful feeling of solidity and quality. Really good. And I'm very grateful to Mitchell Farley because he sent this through to me, which is enormously kind of him. And you're absolutely right, Mitchell. It does remind me a huge amount of that wonderful snorkel my father used to have, which my benighted brother managed to mislay somewhere. An excellent pen. Thanks very much. There you go. One excellent little pen with superb build quality that really has lasted well. Fantastic design. I don't know why. I can only assume it's actually a fairly complicated design to put into action, but it is such an efficient and effective way of filling a pen. I really don't quite understand why they stopped making them, unless it was just build quality was very, very difficult. But if you ever see a Sheaffer Snorkel, I would recommend getting it because they are fantastic. Fantastic little pens, really good writers and quality. I just love them. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope that was interesting. If you are so inclined, you can click a link down the bottom and go to PayPal or Patreon and help support this channel, which is a good idea. Apart from that, please like it, subscribe, hit the bell button if you want to be notified on future videos, and pretty much apart from that, that is about it. The only thing I'm going to say now is, if you've been noticing how badly injured I am, I haven't been attacked by a bunch of mad Chinese trying to kill me with the death of 1,000 cuts. This is what happens when you go hedging. When you've got a very long hedge, 200 yards or so, and that hedge is full of brambles and blackthorns and wild roses. I've suffered. Such is life. Thanks a lot for watching. Speak to you soon. Take care.